The WWE transfer window is wide open, ladies and gentlemen, with big moves already being made, with Braun Strowman moving to SmackDown from Raw and Logan Paul moving to Raw from SmackDown. Today's focus, though, is NXT, because when there's usually some superstar shakeup at WWE draft, usually NXT loses a lot of their best stars, and I think this could be no different. Raw is expected to go back to 3 hours than it was previously. SmackDown is meant to move from 2 hours to 3 hours, so that makes me think that SmackDown will need more superstars, therefore they may get quite a few from Raw, therefore perhaps both rosters might need a bit of new fresh ingredients from NXT. So let's go through and throw 5 names, although technically it's a little bit more. Teams will count as one pick, and we're going to see at the end of the video if you agree with my picks who I think could be going to Raw or SmackDown in the next few weeks. So let's start things off then with the current NXT champion. Yes, the NXT champion, Trick Williams. Whoop, that Trick is ready for the main roster, because let's be honest, he's got the biggest star power in NXT in my personal opinion. He's been the champion on and off a couple of occasions now throughout 2024, and I think he's ready to go to SmackDown in my personal opinion. I think that's the right stomping ground for him at this moment. Yes, you could throw him straight into the heavyweights of Netflix, however, I think a lot of the big time players could be moving from SmackDown to go to Raw, and it's going to have that Hollywood feel. So I think SmackDown could go back to almost, dare I say, back in the late noughties, where it could be the proving ground brand, where you could have a good year or two there and prove that you're ready for the Monday Night Raw stage. And if you're coming up from NXT, that could be just the thing for Trick Williams. So he's got the potential to be to the top. He's certainly got the charisma. He's certainly got the entrance theme music. He certainly has the crowd behind him. Whenever he's turned up on SmackDown in the past, he's actually had a lot of fanfare. So I expect Trick Williams would be a popular choice to come up to the main roster. And also, if he's to be on SmackDown, like I said, could be treated as a big time player straight away. He could be in and around the United States Championship picture, or perhaps even a World Championship picture. Notice how I said World Championship picture. Some of the predicted moves I have happening in this upcoming transfer window. But yeah, Trick Williams for me, if he's NXT champion between now and then, he's going to need to lose the title. I believe he's had a false finish with, of course, Eddie Thorpe this past week on NXT. I think he'll get through that. However, I do think he's going to drop the title to Obafemi in the near future. So for that reason, I think Obafemi will carry NXT moving forward, and that will release Trick Williams into the main roster, and where I believe SmackDown will be his destination. From one champion to another, yes, Roxan Perez. She was ready last year, she is ready this year, and goodness, I don't want to have to wait until next year, or another 12 months down the line, I should say. Roxan Perez is defending the NXT Women's Championship against Julia at New Year's Evil, and yes, I think the Iron Survivors are going to take all the gold this year. I think Julia will be the one to dethrone Roxan Perez. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. Roxan Perez has done everything possible there is to do in NXT. She's now the 4th combined longest reigning holder of the NXT Women's Championship. Yes, I suppose she could hold the title till she gets the top spot, but she's proven her point. She's been in the ring with the best. She's beaten a lot of the best. Now for me, I think it is the right time now to move her to a Raw or SmackDown. She is as good as anyone in ring already on the main roster, and I think she will go from strength to strength, and I could see her having a proper breakout year. Someone like Tiffany Stratton has had that in 2024. I think Roxan Perez could have that on a Raw or a SmackDown in 2025. But she may not come alone, because I think potentially we could get a call-up of Kora Jade. Now, Kora Jade for me is someone that I would like to see as NXT Women's Champion before the call-up to a Raw or SmackDown. However, she's had quite a few injuries in her time. Unfortunately, she's been a bit unlucky, so she's not really had the opportunity to hold an NXT Women's Championship, and at this moment she's kind of been, well, Roxanne's best friend once again, both being heels. If they were called up together on a transfer window, they could potentially be a future women's tag team champions. And I think that could be a great way to start both of them on the main roster, strong and united. Also, if they're on the same show as CM Punk, for example, who is a big fan of both of them, I think that certainly would be, the politics backstage to get your foot in the door, find your way through. The talent is there as well, with the right booking, right creative as well. I think that they could have a great time, Roxan Perez and Kora Jade, on a Raw or a SmackDown. For me to predict for those two, I'd actually say I think the heights of Monday Night Raw is the placement, just purely because there's more women's tag teams on that side right now than there is on SmackDown. However, with the change to 3 hours, potentially to SmackDown as well, we might need some more teams over on the SmackDown side. So, like I say, open-minded to both, but I do think Roxan Perez and Kora Jade will be getting the call. Next for me is Ethan Page, and I mentioned CM Punk already. Ethan Page going a bit of a downward spiral. Obviously, he lost the NXT Championship. He lost the Iron Survivor Challenge. He can't find his way back into the title picture. He then lost the match against the North American champion, Tony D'Angelo. And, well, you could argue that he lost his smile this past week on NXT. Don't just love when Sean books his own old storylines into current modern NXT TV. It's the best. But Ethan Page has done amazing work in the short time he's been in NXT. He's an established veteran, been in the business for 18 years, and he's proven in the short time he's been in NXT he could thrive on a Raw and a SmackDown. Now, at the start of Ethan Page's name, I mentioned CM Punk because when he lost the championship to Trick Williams, it was on the debut episode on the CW network, and of course CM Punk was the special guest referee. So if anyone is going to be upset with the idea of losing the NXT championship, can't find a way to get it back, needs to get revenge on someone to prove he is all ego and that ego is still intact, I could see Ethan Page going after CM Punk. Now, yes, I know, sounds a bit crazy because right now there are rumors that CM Punk will take on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We know on the debut show of Netflix, CM Punk will take on Seth frickin' Rollins. There is some big plans in the future of CM Punk. However, somewhere in the middle on the road to WrestleMania, a program with Ethan Page could do wonders for All Ego, because to actually get in the mix of someone who could potentially be in WrestleMania's main event in Vegas, that's an amazing start for Ethan Page. Even in a losing effort, the guy would get over and would have a great opportunity to show what he's got. So for me, All Ego would go to Monday Night Raw. Last but not least then, let's go with the tag team of the Metaphor girls, Lash Legend and Kora Jade. Now, we haven't seen much of Ora Mensah recently. I'm not sure of his situation. Obviously, we know Noam Dar has been out for a long-term injury, so the girls have been flying the flag for the Metaphor, and they've had a great showing when they were on the main roster. They were on Raw and SmackDown for a few weeks on the road to Crown Jewel. They had an opportunity to win the Women's Tag Team Championships, and they held themselves quite credible as well. Lash Legend also is someone who has been involved in the United States Championship tournament, of course, when we were crowning the first women's champion. Of course, that was won by Chelsea Green. I do believe that Lash Legend, Kora Jade should get the call, should get the move, and just strengthen that women's tag team division a little bit further. Again, Lash Legend, like Kora Jade, has been in NXT since 2021. Kora Jade, I believe, somewhere in 22, maybe late 22, early 23, but has proven herself already to be a valuable player, and the team just works with Lash Legend. So I'd move them over to SmackDown. I think that would be the right placement for them. We can start getting some depth for the women's tag team division on SmackDown as well, because after all, those women's tag team championships can be defended on both shows. So that's my picks for you there. One honorary mention I would just say before I go, Gallus, I do think it's time for them to get the call up. Look, the Scottish lads have been in NXT for a number of years now, and I think, again, they've done all they can do. It's just time to promote them, add a bit of strength and depth to the tag team divisions on either Raw or SmackDown. Personally, I would go with SmackDown. However, I'm sure fantasy bookers out there would like to see him aligned with Drew McIntyre. But that's my selections anyway. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think is moving from NXT to a Raw or a SmackDown in the upcoming transfer window? Would like to know your opinions down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe as well. I'll see you for the next video. And in fact, if you want to see more from the channel in the meantime, click this video on the bottom of the screen right now. Take care, thanks for watching, see you for the next one.